After SQL, so we have discussed about PLSQL also. So in PLSQL, PL means procedural language. PL means procedural language. It is the extension of. It is the extension of. It is the extension of SQL. So what is not possible with SQL, we are making it possible with the PLSQL. So with SQL, we cannot run 2, 3 statements as a block. If I want to execute the 2, 3 SQL commands as a block, or if I want to give conditions, so all these are not possible with SQL. So PLSQL, it is only just the extension of SQL. And when we are working with this SQL here, when we are working with this SQL, we are working with SQL, limitations are there. That's why we are using PLSQL. So if you want to work as SQL developer, you need to know SQL and also you need to know PLSQL also. Okay. And uh, in previous classes, I've told about basics, the syntax of how to create PLSQL blocks. In PLSQL blocks, two types are there: unnamed blocks and named blocks. Unnamed block means it does not have any name and it is not stored in the database. Only for temporary basis will create and it is deleted. Named block means writing the blocks. Block means program. Unnamed block means program. So we are creating the block, named block. So when you create a named block, if the program is having name, then it is saved in the database. Named blocks means procedures, functions, triggers, then packages. All these are named blocks, programs with name, and they are saved in the database. So in Java applications, what blocks you can use? Unnamed blocks or named blocks? Named blocks we can use. And also, after seeing the syntax, those who are absent for previous classes, please copy the notes. And practice is also important. And when you are working with PLSQL, I've given the notes very clearly. Even if you are absent also, you will understand the code, everything. And you have to, I've told about if condition, then simple loop, then while loop, for loop also we have discussed. So all the syntaxes we have discussed. After that, I have told about exceptions. So in Oracle also, when you execute the program, it gives errors, runtime errors. Like Java, here also, it gives runtime errors. To handle runtime errors, we are using exceptions. So exceptions are used to handle or manage runtime errors. And I've told when runtime error occurs, then how to handle. And I've given you the list of exceptions. No data found, then too many rows, then invalid number, zero divided, and other two cursor related exceptions are there. Cursor related exceptions are existing. So I've told how to use. So to handle any runtime error, we can use others. When others then. When we say when others then, it can handle any runtime error occurs in application. And in Saturday class, I think in Friday, Saturday classes, we have discussed about procedure. Procedures are there. Procedure is a named block or unnamed block. It is named block. We are creating with name and it is saved in the and it is saved in the and it is saved in the database. So here you can see, I'm repeating again because last week some are absent last week. Boys are regular only. Girls are not regular. Boys are coming every day. Afternoon also they are coming. And so when we are working with procedures, functions and triggers, all these are called as sub-programs. Sub-programs means they are small programs used to perform the given task. To perform the given task, we can use a sub-program we can use. So here we'll create procedures and also we'll create the functions. Functions also will create. So here we have predefined stored procedures. Predefined stored procedures are there. And here we are creating user-defined stored procedures. Okay, Oracle lo meeku predefined stored procedures, predefined stored procedures ఉన్నాయి. Stored procedures అంటే procedures ఉన్నాయి. ఉన్నాయి. Okay, predefined procedures ఉన్నాయి. Predefined procedures ఉన్నాయి. Okay, so you are creating your own procedures, stored user-defined procedures. మనం ఓన్ గా మన ప్రొసీజర్స్ క్రియేట్ చేసుకున్నాం. మన రిక్వైర్మెంట్ తగినట్టుగా మనం క్రియేట్ చేసుకున్నాం. ఓకే, అండ్ functions are also there. In previous class I have given the list of functions. Here you can create functions also. System predefined functions చాలా ఉన్నాయి. లిస్ట్ ఇచ్చాను, ప్రింట్అవుట్ మీకు ఇచ్చాను కదా. ప్రింట్అవుట్ ఉందా ఇంకా? Show me the printout. Show me the printout. లేకపోతే ప్రాబ్లం లేదండి, ఇబ్బంది లేదు. ఓకే 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 ఆ పేపర్ చూసి అదొక హ్యాపీనెస్. మీరు ప్రాక్టీస్ చేశారో లేదో నాకు తెలియదు. అక్కడ వాళ్ళేమో జావా మీద ఎక్స్పర్ట్ చేస్తారండి. జావాలో ఎక్స్పర్ట్స్ అవుతుంటారు కదా. మీరు ఆల్రెడీ జావాలో ఎక్స్పర్ట్స్, మరి అంత టైం ప్రాక్టీస్ చేస్తే ఎక్స్పర్ట్స్ అవుతారు. జావాలో ఎక్స్పర్ట్స్ మీరు అంటారు. నేనేంటి ఒరాకిల్లో కొంచెం ఎక్స్పర్ట్స్ అవ్వాలని నేను అనుకుంటుంటే వాళ్ళు ఛాన్స్ ఇవ్వట్లేదు. ఓకే, సో హియర్ ద మెయిన్, మళ్ళీ జాగ్రత్తగా పెట్టేసేయండి పేపర్ లోపల. ఏంటి సార్ మాట్లాడుకుంటున్నారని పాపం చింపేద్దు పేపర్లు, జాగ్రత్తగా ఉంచండి. So here you can see procedures are there, functions are there. In Java projects, we'll use only procedures. We'll not use functions. Functions we'll never use. In Java projects, in Java applications, in Java websites, we'll use only procedure. Procedure is what? It is a program. Procedure is what? It is a program. Program with some statements. So in procedure does not have return type and it does not return any value. Whereas function has return type and function returns value. Procedure can have DML comments. DML full form? Data manipulation. What are DML comments? Insert, update, delete. And what else? Only these three. Insert, update and delete. So in procedure you can write select statement, we can write DML comments. In function, we will not use DML commands. You can use, it is not an error. But in functions, we will not use DML commands. Every time we use only select statement. Select statement and other programming statements you can use. Like if condition, for loop, while loop, begin and declare. All these statements you can use it. So here when you are working with procedure, so procedure is pre-compiled and it is saved in the database. Procedure is pre-compiled and it is saved in the database. See, when you are working with Java, when you write a program in Java, if you create a file, so that file is saved first, then compiled and it is executed. Okay, first compilation, first save, tarvata compilation, tarvata execution. But with stored procedure, it is pre-compiled. Pre means before. Post means after. So pre-compilation means it is compiled first, then it is saved in the database. It is compiled first, then it is saved in the database. In other languages, in other programming languages, program is saved first, then it is compiled and it is executed. Here it is reversed. At the time of compilation, execution plan is prepared. Execution plan is prepared. And execution plan under it contains how the procedure should run. It is having a plan how the procedure should run, how the procedure should execute. Okay, so how the execution plan works is when you write a procedure, then Oracle will check in how many different ways the procedure can execute. So in procedure, you can write if condition, for loop, while loop. You can write select, insert, update, delete on one table or multiple tables you can write. Based on the statements in the procedure, Oracle will check in how many different ways it will run. So you can prepare 4 or 5 strategies. అంటే మీరు రాసిన ప్రొసీజర్ కి 4 or 5 strategies prepare అయ్యాయి. So it has prepared 4 or 5 strategies. It means that the procedure will execute in 4 or 5 different ways. Out of 4 or 5 strategies, the best strategy is called as execution plan. అంటే మీకు స్టోర్ ప్రొసీజర్ చాలా ఫాస్ట్ గా రన్ అవ్వాలి. అంటే 4 or 5 execution strategies లో the best one it will select. ఆ బెస్ట్ వన్ ఏంటి చాలా స్పీడ్ గా రన్ అవుతుంది. ఓకే, అవుట్ ఆఫ్ 4 or 5 strategies, the best strategy is called as execution plan. That is also saved in the database. And the stored procedure, రాసిన stored procedure ఎలాగ రన్ అవ్వాలో ముందే అంత ప్లాన్ ప్రిపేర్ అయి ఉంటుంది. ఆ ప్లాన్ కూడా స్టోర్ అయి ఉంటుంది. Okay, so while execution it won't have any confusion like how to run the statements, what to execute first. All these confusion will not be there. So plan is also prepared. ఆ ప్రొసీజర్ ఎలాగ రన్ అవ్వాలనేది ముందే ప్రిపేర్ అయింది ప్లాన్. అది కూడా డేటాబేస్ లో ఉంటుంది. So when stored procedure is executed, it will execute directly because it is already compiled and execution plan is also ready. Directly it will execute. Okay, and stored procedures are compiled once and they are executed any number of times. ఒకసారి కంపైలేషన్ అయితే ఎన్నిసార్లు అయినా మీకు రన్ అవుతుంది. Directly it will execute without compilation. And when you are working with stored procedures, while working with these procedures, see in SQL Server will call as stored procedures. In Oracle will call it as procedure. నేను బై మిస్టేక్ స్టోర్ ప్రొసీజర్ అన్నా మీరు హర్ట్ అవుతుంది. స్టోర్ ప్రొసీజర్ అంటే ఏంటి? ప్రొసీజర్. స్టోర్ ప్రొసీజర్ అంటే ఏంటి? ప్రొసీజర్. నేను స్టోర్ ప్రొసీజర్ అంటాను. సార్ ఎందుకు ఇలా అన్నారంటే ఎస్క్యూఎల్ లో ఉంటుంది వర్డ్ స్టోర్ ప్రొసీజర్ అని. ఇక్కడ నేను యూజ్ చేస్తున్నాను, మీరేమో హర్ట్ అవుతుంది. ఓకే, స్టోర్ ప్రొసీజర్ అంటే ఏంటి? స్టోర్ ప్రొసీజర్ అంటే ఏంటి? ప్రొసీజర్. నేను బై మిస్టేక్ స్టోర్ ప్రొసీజర్ అన్నాను అనుకోండి, మీరు మనసులో ఏమనుకోవాలి? ప్రొసీజర్ అనుకోవాలంటే. ఓకే, మళ్ళీ హర్ట్ అయ్యి మళ్ళీ ఫీల్ అయ్యి అన్ని చేయొద్దు మళ్ళీ. సో హియర్ when you are working with SQL commands, see in Java application you can use SQL commands. SQL commands works slow. Why? Because is Whenever they are executed, they are compiled and executed. So SQL commands are in high level language or low level language? High level, it is in English. SQL commands English not there. So they are in English high level language. Then when you execute them, it is converted to low level language and then it gives a result. Stored procedure advantage is it works faster. That's why you have to use stored procedures in projects. And here stored procedures are used in multiple tables and can perform multiple operations on the table. When you are creating procedure, you can write procedure on multiple tables. We'll see the examples. How to write procedure on multiple tables, we'll see the example. And next one is procedure can perform multiple operations on the tables. On one table, it can do adding records. On another table, updating records. On another table, deleting records. All these we can do it. In Saturday class, I think Friday class or Saturday class, I told about the syntax. Then how to see the errors in stored procedure. Then how to execute the stored procedure. To execute the stored procedure, we'll write execute procedure name, argument or arguments. And next one is we saw the examples also. And here you can see execute procedure name and other options are there. And the procedures. So if you want to see the procedure program, then user underscore source. Okay. మీరు దగ్గర నోట్స్ లేదనుకోండి నోట్స్ రాసుకోండి మళ్ళీ 2 o'clock క్లాస్ ఉంటుంది కదా 4 to 6 టైం ఉంటుంది 4 to 6 నోట్స్ రాసుకోండి మీరు I think some are attending online also. Saturday means count is increasing. Offline students, I think they are coming online, I think. Remaining days count is less only. The online students also they are writing notes. I didn't expect this. They will ask soft copy, but online students are also good students only. They are not asking notes. So here you can see here user underscore source is there, no? User underscore source. User underscore source ఏంటి? User underscore source. What is user underscore source? Okay. User underscore source ఏంటది? Procedure. It is system table. User underscore source is system table. Okay. Text is the column name. Text is the column name in the system table. System tables are predefined. Already Oracle lo unte na system lo vastundi mee system lo kuda vastayi anni. Okay. And in Saturday class I have told how to create procedure without arguments. Yesterday I have clarified very important things. That is, I'm always using the programs on EMP table. And I've told you can use any table. While doing programs, you can use any table. And you can create procedure with arguments and without arguments also you can create. So we'll continue with examples. Right. Don't wait. So here you can see creating procedure to add records in the table. Now we'll see this example. Okay. Don't wait. So we'll create a procedure. User defines stored procedure to add records in DBT table. Select task from DPT table. So DPT table is here. DPT table and DPT table is having how many columns? Okay, DPT table is user defined or it is a demo table. EMP DPT are demo tables. They are already there. We are using it, and I'm not creating. They are sample tables. EMP is sample table. EMP table having how many columns? 8 columns. And how many rows? DPT is also sample table. Sample table means for practice you can use. For practice. EMV table is sample table. DPT table is also sample table. Having how many columns? How many columns? How many rows? 4 rows are existing. మీకు స్టార్టింగ్ లో ఒక ఫైల్ పంపించండి. అందులో మీకు టేబుల్స్ ఉన్నాయి, శాంపిల్ టేబుల్స్. ఓకే, ఐ డోంట్ నో వాట్ యు ఆర్ డూయింగ్ ఇన్ ద ల్యాబ్, వాట్ యు ఆర్ ప్రాక్టీసింగ్ అండ్ నాట్ నోయింగ్. మీరు ల్యాబ్ లో ఏం ప్రాక్టీస్ చేస్తున్నారు? మీరు ల్యాబ్ లో ఏం ప్రాక్టీస్ చేస్తున్నారు? సాటర్డే కానీ ఫ్రైడే కానీ ఏం ప్రాక్టీస్ చేశారు? సబ్ క్వరీస్, జాయిన్స్ అయిపోయింది. సబ్ క్వరీస్ పర్లేదు. ఓకే, సబ్ క్వరీస్ మీరు ఆయన ఈరోజా ఆయన చెప్పండి. వాట్ యూఆర్ డూయింగ్, వాట్ యూఆర్ ప్రాక్టీసింగ్ ఇన్ ల్యాబ్? आपसे पूछ रहा हूँ मैं बोल रहा हूँ ओरेकल है ना, ओरेकल क्लास में आप क्या प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हो? PLSQL, सब क्वेरीज, व्यूज, इंडेक्सेस all gone, खत्म. Yeah? Okay. After sub queries, views are there, indexes are there, many are there, no sequence, save point, all are there. You know, sub queries, constraints are okay. Okay, constraints are ఎందుకు అంత టైం తీసుకున్నారు? ఓకే, మీరు ఓకే ఓకేనండి. ఓకే, మీరు సేమా కన్స్టెన్స్ అన్నా? మీరు అంతా కన్స్టెన్స్. మీరు ఈయన మీరు జాయిన్ సార్, మీరు చెప్పండి ప్లీజ్. మీరు ఏం చేస్తున్నారు చెప్పండి. సబ్ క్వైరీసా? మీరు కన్సెప్ట్, మీరు ఏదో టాపిక్ చెప్పొచ్చు, మీరు టైం తీసుకోవద్దు. మీరు ఏదో మైండ్ లో ఏదో వస్తే చెప్పాలి. నేను చెక్ చేయను కదా అలాగా, ఏదో నా హ్యాపీనెస్ కోసం. మీరు సబ్ క్వైరీస్, PLSQL, ఇండెక్సెస్, సబ్ క్వైరీస్. మేడం మీరు, మేడం మీరు నాకు కొంచెం కట్టెలు క్లోజ్ అయ్యింది, లైటింగ్ వస్తుంది. ఓకే ఓకే. సీక్వెన్స్, సీక్వెన్స్ what constraints, okay okay, good. You are absent, no? Sequence, PLSQL, joins, joins, constraints. Okay, so I am creating procedure to add records in DPT table. See, when I am giving examples, I'm giving examples on sample tables. I'm giving examples on sample tables, EMP, DPT, sample tables. Okay, but when you practice on your own tables. On your own tables. అంటే మీరు ఏం చేయాలి? ఫస్ట్ టేబుల్ క్రియేట్ చేయాలి, రికార్డ్స్ యాడ్ చేయాలి, దానిపైన ప్రోగ్రామ్ రాయాలి. ఎంత కష్టమో తెలుసా? టేబుల్ క్రియేట్ చేయాలి, టేబుల్ రికార్డ్స్ యాడ్ చేయాలి, దాని మీద ప్రోగ్రామ్ రాయాలి. నేను అలా చేయట్లేదు. ఐఎమ్ రైటింగ్ ఆన్ sample tables. Okay, so now say this: create or replace procedure. Procedure name is PRC3LU. Say any name you can use. Procedure PRC3. Then here I am using @. Here I will use TNO, TDNO, TDPTNO number. Then T in varchar. And next one varchar 2. And the T location varchar 2 is given. So here I am creating procedure with 3 arguments. three arguments. T department number, D name, D name, and T location. T location is given. So I am creating user defined store procedure with three arguments. With three arguments. Why I am giving three arguments? Why I am giving three arguments? Because table is having three columns. I want to give three values, so I am creating procedure with three arguments. Like this, we are giving here, and then here also is begin. So after is you can declare variables, but here I am not declaring variables here. Is begin, then here I will say insert into DPT values. Then here I will say 50. Then here I am using finance. Then location Hyderabad is given. So here I'll give variable name. Sorry, T department number, T D name, T location. So I'm giving the variables given in the procedure. Okay, procedure is having arguments. Arguments means parameters. So the main difference between arguments and parameters is when you are creating the procedure, if you are giving variables as arguments, now I am giving T department number, T department name, location. We can call them as parameters. Okay, because we are giving variable names, argument names. And while calling the procedure, while executing the procedure, we are going to give, while executing the procedure, we are going to give values. Values we can call them as arguments. See, I will call variables as arguments, values as arguments. But the slight difference is there. When to call parameters and when to call arguments. While creating the function, you will give parameters. While calling the procedure, while creating the procedure, you will give parameters. While calling the procedure, you will give arguments. Arguments means values. Variables and values I will call as arguments only. I will not use parameters. So like this I am giving. Then here I will say end. So here you can see procedure is created here. So here we are writing or replace. Create or replace. In previous class I told them, even if errors are there, procedure is created with compilation errors. It will show the message. Procedure is created with compilation errors. In Java, it is not like that. It will compile. If any errors are there, it will not give class file. Okay. So if errors are not there, then only you will get class file. But here it is not like this. It is what it will show. It will show procedure created with compilation errors. With errors it is created. Then what we'll do, we'll rectify. When we rectify, then the procedure with the correct statements should be replaced. Errors one should be deleted and a new one should be there. We are replacing with a new one. That's why we are writing or replace. Whenever you do changes, replace will work. Like old one is deleted, new one will be there. That's why we are writing replace, we are giving. Now here procedure is created. If errors are there, you can write show errors. So here no errors are there. It is not giving. And if you want to execute the program here, then we'll give like this. Here I'll write execute, then PRC3. Execute PRC3. Then here I'm giving values 50. Then here I'll say finance. And Hyderabad is given here. So here, while creating the procedure, how many arguments are there? How many arguments? While calling the procedure, while executing the procedure, how many arguments I am giving? 3 arguments. If I give 2 arguments, will it work? If I give only department number, name, if I am not giving location, if I give like this, will it work? So it will not work. So here we have to give all the three values. Because while creating the procedure, three arguments are there. We are giving three arguments while calling the procedure. Okay, we are creating the procedure, we are executing the procedure. Students. So first ఏం చేయాలి మీరు? ఫస్ట్ ఏం చేయాలి మీరు? ఫస్ట్ ఏం చేయాలి? క్రియేట్ చేయాలి. క్రియేట్ చేసిన తర్వాత కాల్ చేయాలి. ఇది అంతా మీకు అందరికి తెలుసు. క్రియేట్ చేయకుండా మీరు కాల్ చేయలేరు. నేను కూడా అదే చేస్తున్నాను కదా. వాట్ ఐఎమ్ డూయింగ్ హియర్, ఐఎమ్ క్రియేటింగ్ ద ప్రొసీజర్ అండ్ ఆఫ్టర్ దట్ ఐఎమ్ ఎగ్జిక్యూటింగ్ ద ప్రొసీజర్. క్రియేట్ చేసినప్పుడు ఎన్ని ఆర్గ్యుమెంట్స్ ఉన్నాయో కాల్ చేసినప్పుడు కూడా అన్ని ఆర్గ్యుమెంట్స్ ఉండాలి. ఏమైనా చేంజ్ చేస్తే వర్క్ అవుతుంది. ఓకే, సో కంప్లీటెడ్. సో ప్రొసీజర్ ఎగ్జిక్యూటెడ్. వాట్ ఐ షుడ్ డూ నౌ? వేర్ ఐ షుడ్ చెక్? Where I should check? Here I am not using set server output on. I am not printing any messages here. I didn't use set server output on. నేను ప్రొసీజర్ క్రియేట్ చేశానండి, ప్రొసీజర్ ని కాల్ చేశానండి. ఇప్పుడు ఏం చేయాలి? ఏం చేయాలి? టేబుల్లో చెక్ చేయాలి. మీరు ఫాలో అవ్వట్లేదు నాకు తెలుసు. నేను ఈ ప్రొసీజర్ దేని మీద రాశాను? డిపిటి టేబుల్ మీద రాశాను కదా. డిపిటి టేబుల్ మీద రాశాను. ఇప్పుడు ఏం చేయాలి? డిపిటి టేబుల్ చెక్ చేసుకోవాలి. సెలెక్ట్ asterisk ఫ్రమ్ డిపిటి. రికార్డ్ ఇస్ దేర్ ఆర్ నాట్? It is there. 550 finance location Hyderabad is given here. So we can use like this also. I can say call, then procedure name. Procedure name is PRC3. Then here I am giving new record. So here call completed. So we can run like this. We can execute like this. You can create unnamed block also. You can write like this. Begin. Then PRC3. Location. And like this also we can write. Procedure can be executed in different ways. By using execute. By using call. By using unnamed block. Begin, procedure name, end. That is unnamed. Block is not having any name. So if you want to see the program, then you have to use user underscore source. You have to use user underscore source. So here I am deleting the records here. Delete DEPT. Where department number greater than 40. 3 rows are deleted. Okay. So now procedure is created. Now this is the table. Select asterisk from DPT. See, while creating the procedure, while calling, here different types of parameters are there. Positional parameters, named parameters, and mixed parameters. Positional parameters, named parameters, and mixed parameters. Three types are there. Positional parameters means how the procedure is given, how the procedure is created. In the same way, you have to give the arguments also. You should not change the arguments. Procedure is created with 3 arguments with DNO, DName, location. First department number, second department name, next location. While calling the procedure, you have to maintain the same order. First department number, next department name, next location. That is called positional parameters. Positional parameters we did before. We have done this before. So here I'll use, here I'll say execute PRC3. Then here I'll say 50. See, these records are deleted. That's why I'm giving again. Location Hyderabad is given here. So when I give arguments like this, it is called what? Positional parameters. Positional parameters and how the arguments are given at the time of creation. While calling the procedure, you have to maintain the same order. What is the order? Department number, department name, location. I am giving the same order now. So done. Default is positional parameters, default. And the next one is named parameters are there. Named parameters means you can give the values with names. You can give the values with argument names. When you give values with argument names, then you can change the sequence, order you can change. So I am executing named parameters here. Named parameters I'll execute. Here I'll say execute PRC3. Then here I'll say TD name equal to grab then here I'll use name as production. And next one is T location equal to grab then here Hyderabad is given here. And next one is the T department number equal to grab here I'll say 70 I'll give 70. Okay, first I am giving department name, after that location, after that department number I am giving. So here when we say about these parameters, you can change the sequence. Named parameter means you are giving values with names, values with variable names. Names means variable names or arguments. That's why we are able to change the sequence here. Sequence we are changing. First I am giving D name, after that location, after that department number. Created like this. Okay. By default, their first annually, Madam by default, first annually, department number, Tarvata, location. But using these named parameters, we are changing the sequence. First D name is none, Tarvata, location is none, Tarvata, department number is none. They are saved in the same order. See the table. Select asking from DPT. We are getting 70 first, but only we are changing the position. Sequence we are changing. Next one is mixed parameters is there. Mixed parameter means it is the combination of positional parameters and named parameters. You can give positional parameters, order. Positional parameters means order is important. After that, named parameters means you can change the sequence. Order you can change. So here I'll say execute PRC3. So here I'm giving the 80 I'm giving here. Then after this I can say TD name. First one is positional parameter. Okay. Then here TD name. Location we can give. Okay. So here I'll say T location. Okay. And here I'll say TD name equal to gradient symbol. And here I'll use operations IT I'll give here. HR also we can give. So procedure is created. Like this we are giving. Okay, it is working, students. Students, it is working. Students, it is working. Now here I'll say T location Delhi is given. TD name HR I'm giving. And here I'm giving 90. Okay. Positional parameter is given in the last one. First location name 90. If I give like this, will it work? Yes or no? So many are saying no. It is good to listen now. So here it is not working. Positional parameters means you should not change the position of department number. Department number should be in the first only. If you change the position of positional parameter, it won't work. Department number means you have to give in the beginning only. With the named parameters, you can change the sequence. Order you can change. Okay. So here you are learning one important thing. What is that important thing? Procedure create చేసిన తర్వాత మీరు ఏం చేయాలి? ప్రొసీజర్ క్రియేట్ చేసిన తర్వాత మీరు ఏం చేయాలి? కాల్ చేయాలి. ప్రొసీజర్ క్రియేట్ చేసిన తర్వాత కాల్ చేయాలి. మీరు జావాలో ఏం చేస్తారు? ప్రోగ్రామ్ రాసిన తర్వాత ఏం చేస్తారు? ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేస్తారు. కమాండ్ ఏంటి? జావాసి జావా డి గారు జావాసి ఫైల్ లెంత్ ఆఫ్ జావా తర్వాత you will execute the class file. Class file you will execute. Java, okay, file name, huh? Okay. So here you should understand one thing. You are understanding many things. After creating the procedure, you have to run the stored procedure so that you can see the result. Right? This one from here you write. Here you can give SQL prompt. So while giving arguments, we are giving only number. We are not writing number of 5, varchar 2 of 15. Like that, we are not using here. విండోస్ ఓపెన్ చేయండి, వెంటిలేషన్ వస్తుంది. ఇది ఓపెన్ చేయండి. ఆ, అది కట్ క్లోజ్ చేసి క్లోజ్ చేయండి. ఆయన చేయండి. In name parameters, description is given. While calling the procedure, if you change the order of arguments, if you change the sequence, procedure will not execute. So to overcome this drawback, we are using named parameters. In named parameters, you can change the order, you can change the sequence of arguments. And create procedure. Please write. Create procedure to add records in to add records in to add records in sample table EMP. ఏం లేదు క్రియేట్ ప్రొసీజర్ అన్నా అంతే. క్రియేట్ ప్రొసీజర్ టు యాడ్ రికార్డ్స్ ఇన్ sample table EMP. Listen, this procedure is a similar procedure that you should do it. You have to write this. See, in EMP sample table, 8 columns are there. Insert values, only 4 values insert. Employee number, employee name, job and salary. Don't take 8 columns. You have to insert records in EMP table, sample table, and you have to give only 4 values. Employee number, name, job and salary, and use only positional parameters. Don't use named parameters and mixed parameters. అంటే మీరు ప్రొసీజర్ క్రియేట్ చేసి కాలింగ్ లో మీరు పొజిషనల్ పారామీటర్స్ ఇవ్వాలి. ఓకే, you can give name as you can give procedure name as PRCEMP. PRCEMP you can give as procedure name, and you have to create the procedure with how many arguments? How many? 4 arguments. You have to give values in number, name, job and salary. EMP sample table is having 8 columns. Don't give 8 columns. Give only 4. And while calling the procedure, while executing the procedure, use positional parameters. అక్కడ మళ్ళీ మిక్స్డ్ పారామీటర్స్, నేమ్డ్ పారామీటర్స్ ఎక్కువ రాయొద్దు మీరు. ఆ పొజిషనల్ పారామీటర్ ఒక లైన్ రాయండి అంతే. జస్ట్ క్రియేటింగ్ ద ప్రొసీజర్ అండ్ కాలింగ్ ద ప్రొసీజర్. You can give procedure name as PRCEMP. You can give. Start right. It is similar to previous program. Okay. See, I will check your notebooks. Handwriting should be neat. Say I'm writing in capital letters, no, you can write procedure in small letters. There is no rule like the programs also you should write in capital letters. I am giving in capital letters. You can write in small letters. SQL comments also you can write in small letters. మీరు క్యాపిటల్ లెటర్స్ స్టార్ట్ చేస్తుంటారు నాకు తెలిసి. లోవర్ కేస్ లో కూడా రాయొచ్చు ప్రోగ్రామ్స్. క్యాపిటల్ లెటర్స్ తో కంటిన్యూ చేసి క్యాపిటల్ లెటర్స్ తో కంటిన్యూ చేయండి. మళ్ళీ లోవర్ లో షిఫ్ట్ అవ్వద్దు. లోవర్ కేస్ లో కూడా ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ రాయొచ్చు మీరు. అది ఇంపార్టెంట్. మీరు అప్పర్ నేను అప్పర్ చేసేది మీరు అప్పర్ చేసేది అది కాదు. కొంచెం లింక్ చేయాలి. You have to do following stuff. This interest number is not working. You have to take the entire get forward. You are giving only 4 forward. You have to put the column name first. Then after that value. This number is one number. Create replace number of files, number of answers, one data. Only number, only answer. So the right program in lower case, only their program is correct. అంతే మరి నేను అప్పర్ కేస్ లో రాస్తున్నాను, మీరు అప్పర్ కేస్ లో రాస్తున్నారంటే మీకు ఏంటి, మీకు అండర్స్టాండ్ అవ్వలేదు. You can write program even in lower case also. You can write the program in upper case, which case you have to write. SQL cases కాదు, పేపర్లో డేటా కేసెస్ ఉన్నాయి. మీరు క్యాపిటల్ కొంచెం రాయకూడదు. మీరు రిక్వైర్మెంట్ మీరు అండర్స్టాండ్ చేసుకోవడం, మీరు ఆల్రెడీ చెప్పండి. ఓన్లీ పొజిషన్ తర్వాత ఇప్పుడు రాస్తే నాకు మంచిది. మీరు మీకు అండర్స్టాండ్ అవ్వాలి కదా. నేను if I am writing in capital letters, you also are writing in capital letters. It means that you are not getting that you can write program even in lower case. మీరు అది కూడా మీరు అండర్స్టాండ్ చేసుకోండి. ఆ మేడం థర్డ్ క్లాస్ ఇన్సర్ట్ కమాండ్ కూడా థర్డ్ క్లాస్. She wrote program in lower case. When program looks nice when you write in lower case, not in capital letters. Oracle లో SQL in capital letters తో రాస్తాను, PLSQL కూడా అలాగే రాస్తున్నాను, కానీ అలా రాయకూడదు. When program looks good only when it is in lower case. నేను రాస్తాను, నేను నాకు ఓకే, మీకు ఓకే కాదు. Please sir, insert command is wrong. Insert command wrong. Madam, మీరు wrong. Starting of the program. Why you are not focusing on class? You are not focusing on classes. You are unable to write the same similar program. Madam, మీరు ఇచ్చేసారా? If you do corrections now, I will not accept correction. First time you are getting wrong. See, I am checking insert command. If insert command is wrong, I am saying wrong, not uppercase lowercase. Uppercase lowercase and then lowercase. Please, sir, చూపించారా? కవర్ చూపించారా? Wrong. Wrong. Their procedure is completed. Execute was your writing procedure. Execute here from there. You are writing the execution inside the procedure. మీకు ఏం చెప్పారు పొజిషనల్ పారామీటర్స్ రాయమన్నారు కదా అక్కడ నేమ్ పారామీటర్స్ రాస్తున్నారు డిస్క్ పారామీటర్స్ రాస్తున్నారు మీరు నా రిక్వైర్మెంట్ మీరు అండర్స్టాండ్ చేసుకోండి అది ఎలా ఉండాలో కొట్టేస్తున్నారు అదే కదా మీ కంపెనీలో అలా ప్రాబ్లం అవుతుంది మీ రిక్వైర్మెంట్ అర్థం చేసుకోండి See, only two students wrote the current program. Only two students. You, madam, you and that guy. Remaining all wrong only. Yeah. Here I'll create procedure, create or replace procedure. PRCMP. Then here I'll say TMPNO number. TMPNO number. Then T name, varchar 2. T job, varchar 2 is given. And T cell number is given here. After this is begin. Then here insert into EMP. We have to give the column names first. So EMP table is having 8 columns. EMP table is having 8 columns. If you want to enter values only in few columns, you have to give column names first. Many did this mistake. Most of you have done this mistake only. Values. TMPNO, T name, T job, T salary. Procedure is created. So here execute PRCMP, procedure name, then arguments here. Employee number, employee name, job, then salary. Like this, you have to do it. Out of all the students, only 2 wrote correct. If you are not having time here for practice, when you go to your hostel room, you can practice. Till 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, you can do practice. Or morning before coming to the class, you can do practice. If they are not allowing, you are not doing practice. Means you are not showing interest on Oracle. You are showing interest only on Java. You are already expert in Java now. You can focus on Oracle also. All are masters in Java. Then now we'll see parameter modes in procedures. In parameter modes, you can see three are there here. So in, out, and in out is there. So in means it is used to send values as argument. It is used to send values to the procedure. Out means it is used to get output or result. In out means using one argument, using single argument, you can send the input and also you can get output. So in out parameter meaning is using one argument, you can send input, you can send value, and also you can get output using the same variable. That is called in out parameter. So in means input. You can send input to the procedure, value. Out means output. You can get value from the procedure. Here we'll see the example, then you can copy this. Procedure to accept name and display salary. This will do with out parameter. Procedure accepting name and displaying salary will see here. So here I will say create or replace procedure. Then PRC5 I am giving, any name you can give. Then here I will say TE name varchar2. And here I will say T cell out number is given, out number. So TE name is input parameter. So we are going to give name. Based on the given name, it should give salary. T-sal is out. It will give output here. So for T-name, I am not using in. Default is in only. For T-name, I am not using in. Default is in. T-name means it is input parameter. It will take the name from the user. Based on the name, it will give salary. Salary, we are giving it as out. Out means it will give output here. Using T-sal, will get output. After this, here I'll say is a beginner. Then select sal into T-sal. T-sal is output parameter from EMP where E name equal to T name. So T name is input parameter. No need to write in. It is input parameter only. Then here end. So procedure is created. After creating the procedure, here I'll declare, here I'll use a unnamed block. Unnamed block, or we can say anonymous block. Here I'll say declare, and here I'll say T cell, or I'll say A number of 5. This is unnamed block. Then after this, here I'll use begin, then PRC5. No need to write execute. PRC5, then here I'll say Smith. In EMP sample table, Smith is there. I'm giving Smith. Then it will send a salary. So A I'm giving. So A is in the place of out T cell, I'm using A. So value of A will go to T cell. Then we'll get the result here. And here I'll say dbms underscore output dot put underscore line. Then A is given. A. So A will show the result. So when I create a procedure like this, Smith will go to T in N, input parameter. So A will get the, A is will get the salary, T salary. So based on the given name, this is going to execute. Select sal into T sal from EMP, where ename equal to T ename is whatever value is there in T sal, that is given as out. That will comes to A. Value in T cell will comes to A, and that A we are displaying here. A contains salary that we are giving. Now here I'll say end. So here we have to use set server output on, because we are using dbms underscore output dot dbms underscore output dot put underscore end. So it is giving 800. 800 is the salary. So like this we'll do it. Write the modes first, parameter modes. Parameter modes means argument modes. Parameter argument both are same only. Argument or parameter modes. In, out and in, out. With stored procedures we are using this. ఇక్కడ నేమ్ ఎంటర్ చేస్తే శాలరీ రావాలి. నేమ్ ఏంటి ఇన్పుట్ పారామీటర్, శాలరీ ఏంటి అవుట్పుట్ పారామీటర్. బికాస్ ఐ వాంట్ శాలరీ ఫ్రమ్ ఈఎంపి టేబుల్, వీఆర్ గివింగ్ ఇట్ యాజ్ అవుట్. So when you see this example, you should have one doubt. You should get one doubt. What is the doubt? When you see this example, you should have one doubt. What is the doubt? Hmm? Hmm? అది ఇన్సర్ట్ కమాండ్ కదా మేడం, ఇది సెలెక్ట్ కదా, అది ఇన్సర్ట్ కమాండ్, ఇది సెలెక్ట్ ఇది. See, for calling the procedure, we are using unnamed block. So here you should have doubt. Can we use execute procedure name or call procedure name? Here in this case, we cannot use execute procedure name. Because when you write execute procedure name, you have to give both the arguments. But T name is input parameter, tsal is output parameter. In this example, you cannot write execute procedure name. Because when you write execute procedure name, you have to give value for T name and tsal. Tsal will not give value, it is output parameter. We have to give only value for ename, T name. So we cannot use execute procedure name, or we cannot use call procedure name, because tsal is output parameter. We have to give only value for T name. That's why we are using unnamed block. This is unnamed block. Using unnamed block, we are giving procedure like this. We are sending Smith as input, and T salary will get in A. A contains salary. A contains salary of that employee. Then we are displaying that salary here. Okay. See, whatever examples I have told before, whatever examples I have given, all the example, in all the examples we are using what parameters? See, in the previous examples, yesterday, today is Monday, no? Saturday, Friday, I have told the examples. In all the examples, what parameters we are using? What parameter modes we have used in previous examples? In all the previous examples, we have used in parameter mode. In parameter means you are giving values for all the arguments. Only in we have used. Now, just now I have used out. Just now I have used out. Like previous 3-4 examples are having in, because we are sending values to the procedure. So when all the arguments are input parameter modes, you can write execute procedure name values. Then it will work. But first time we are using in and out. When you are using in and out, you have to use anonymous block, because you cannot give value for tsal. Whenever you want to give all the values, then all the arguments are input parameter modes only. Like before we did no department number, department name, location, and you wrote that example, EMPNO, ename, salary, department number. So all 4 parameters are input parameters. మీరు ప్రోగ్రామ్ రాసారా? ఆ ప్రోగ్రామ్ లో 4 ఆర్గ్యుమెంట్స్ ఇచ్చారు. 4 ఆర్గ్యుమెంట్స్ ఇన్పుట్ పారామీటర్స్. Because you have to give all the 4 values to the procedure, then record is saved. All the previous examples we are using input parameter mode. We are sending values. You can use execute, or you can use call, you can use anonymous block. But now this program is having input parameter and output parameter. Whenever output parameter is there, you have to use anonymous block, because you cannot send value to output parameter. Output parameter mode and output ఇవ్వడానికి, అవుట్పుట్ ఇవ్వడానికి. ఇన్పుట్ పారామీటర్ అంటే ఇన్పుట్ పంపించడానికి. ఓకే, సో ఇన్పుట్ పారామీటర్ విల్ నాట్ హ్యావ్ ఇన్. మీరు ప్రోగ్రామ్ రాశారు 4 ఆర్గ్యుమెంట్స్ అని, అక్కడ ఇన్ అని రాయలేదు. డిఫాల్ట్ ఏంటి? ఇన్. డిఫాల్ట్ ఇన్. EMPNO, in number, T name, name, varchar, you didn't write. Default parameter mode is in. Here also name parameter mode is in. No need to write in. For out, you have to give explicitly, you have to give out. Okay, na students? Okay, na? Okay, na? See, whatever program you wrote before, okay, మీరు ముందు ప్రోగ్రామ్ రాశారు కదా, ప్రోగ్రామ్ మీరు రాసిన ప్రోగ్రామ్ ఎన్ని ఆర్గ్యుమెంట్స్ ఉన్నాయి, మీరు రాసిన ప్రోగ్రామ్ ఎన్ని ఆర్గ్యుమెంట్స్ ఉన్నాయి, 4 ఆర్గ్యుమెంట్స్. అన్ని ఆర్గ్యుమెంట్స్ ఏంటి, ఇన్పుట్ parameter modes. You have to give 4 values. All the previous examples are having input parameter modes. Just now we have moved to output parameter. Okay. Okay, I'm stopping now, and afternoon we'll continue with the stored procedures. Other examples we'll see after.